The void of space stretched endless and cold, a canvas of infinite darkness punctuated by the gleaming forms of the Zentari battle fleet. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood motionless at the center of the Defiance's bridge, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays that surrounded her. 17 massive alien warships hum like predatory creatures against the starfield, their crystalline hulls refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns of blues and silvers. Tactical Officer Samuel Chen's fingers danced across his console, tracking the intricate movements of the alien vessels. "Captain," he called out, his voice steady despite the tension. "Zentari fleet is completing their encirclement. We're completely surrounded." A thin smile crossed Rodriguez's lips. Surrounded was exactly where they wanted to be. The Zentari communication channels were alive with a cacophony of sounds, a language of clicks, harmonic tones, and resonant frequencies that the ship's universal translator rendered into something comprehensible. Their conversation was anything but diplomatic. "Look at the human vessel," one Zentari commander broadcast, his voice dripping with condescension. "It appears to be constructed from recycled asteroid mining equipment." "How quaint." Another joined in, a sharp laugh cutting through the communication channels. "The humans send a single ship to face our fleet. This is either the height of arrogance or the depth of stupidity." The mockery continued, a relentless stream of derision that would have broken the spirit of any lesser crew. But the humans of the Defiance were cut from a different cloth. Each crew member knew something the Zentari did not. This was no ordinary warship. Rodriguez's fingers brushed against the neural interface embedded near her temple, a direct connection to the ship's advanced systems. Years of preparation, decades of technological development, and centuries of human resilience were concentrated in this moment. The Defiance was more than a ship, it was a statement. On the external displays, the Zentari fleet continued their mathematical dance of destruction. Their ships moved with a precision that spoke of centuries of space warfare, each vessel a perfect geometric extension of their collective military strategy. Massive energy cannons charge, shield harmonics synchronized, weapon systems locked and loaded. Samuel Chen's voice cut through the tension. "Incoming communication from Fleet Command, Captain." Rodriguez nodded, a subtle gesture that activated the encrypted channel. Admiral Helena Gonzalez's holographic form materialized, a weathered veteran who had survived humanity's most challenging conflicts. "Rodriguez," the Admiral's voice was low, controlled. "You understand the stakes of this mission." "Completely," Rodriguez responded. "First contact, first impression, first demonstration of what humanity can truly do." The subtext was clear. This was more than a military engagement. This was humanity's declaration to the galaxy. The Zentari continued their taunts, each communication more elaborate and insulting than the last. They discussed the human ship as if it were a curiosity, a primitive artifact that had accidentally wandered into their hunting grounds. Technical scans showed minimal weapon systems, rudimentary shield technology, and what appeared to be outdated propulsion mechanisms. What they didn't see was the quantum adaptive layer beneath the ship's exterior. They couldn't comprehend the neural-linked combat systems that allowed the crew to function as a single, hyper-efficient organism. The predictive algorithms that could calculate potential engagement scenarios faster than any known computational system remained hidden. Rodriguez watched the alien fleet's formations. Each movement was a complex mathematical equation, each position a potential attack vector. The Zentari believed they were playing a game of strategic dominance. They didn't realize they were about to become students in a lesson of technological innovation. "All systems nominal," Samuel reported, his voice calm and precise. "Waiting on your command, Captain." The moment stretched, a breathless anticipation hanging in the artificial atmosphere of the bridge. 17 alien warships surrounded them, their weapons charged, their confidence absolute. They saw a single human vessel. Rodriguez saw something entirely different, a weapon of potential, a promise of humanity's future. And then she smiled. The research complex Alpha 9 was humanity's most closely guarded secret, nestled deep within the crystalline mountains of New Colorado. 12 years of continuous development had transformed this hidden facility from a theoretical research station into the birthplace of a technological revolution. Dr. Marcus Chen stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers tracing the intricate design of what would become the Defiance. Surrounding him were the remnants of failed prototypes, each a stepping stone to something extraordinary. The walls were lined with quantum computing arrays, each one humming with potential energy that seemed to vibrate with an almost living intensity. Innovation is not about creating something new, Chen would often tell his team. It's about reimagining what's possible. The ship's development had begun as a response to humanity's first catastrophic encounter with an alien civilization. That first contact had nearly decimated Earth's outer colonies, leaving behind a stark lesson. Technological complacency was a death sentence in the cosmic arena. The Defiance was more than a warship. It was humanity's insurance policy. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, no relation to the ship's captain, had been the breakthrough specialist. Her work in adaptive nanomaterials had revolutionized the concept of ship defense. Traditional shields were static, predictable. Her materials could literally reshape themselves, absorbing and redistributing energy at the molecular level. Watch, she would demonstrate to skeptical military advisors, holding a small panel that could transform from rigid metal to a liquid-like substance in milliseconds. This isn't just defense. This is dynamic survival. The neural interface system was perhaps the most radical innovation. Developed by a team of neurologists, quantum physicists, and advanced computer engineers, it created a symbiotic relationship between the ship and its crew. Traditional command structures relied on verbal communication and mechanical inputs. The Defiance would think with its crew, react before commands could be verbalized. Samuel Chen, Marcus's younger brother, and the project's lead systems integration specialist, had spent years developing the predictive combat algorithms. His breakthrough came from an unexpected source, studying the complex hunting patterns of deep-sea predators. Nature, he discovered, had already solved many of the computational problems military strategists had been struggling with for centuries. Look at how a pack of marine hunters moves, he would explain, showing holographic simulations of coordinated whale hunting strategies. They don't just react. They anticipate. They calculate multiple potential outcomes simultaneously. The propulsion system was another marvel. Traditional fusion drives were replaced with a quantum vacuum manipulation drive that essentially created localized space-time distortions. It wasn't just faster than conventional drives. It was fundamentally different. Where other ships moved through space, the Defiance would slightly bend space around itself. Funding for the project had been a constant battle. Military strategists, politicians, and budget committees saw the Defiance as an impossible dream. Each prototype cost more than entire colonial infrastructure projects. Each failure was a multi-billion credit setback. But the team persevered. Dr. Camara Williams, the project's chief xenotechnology analyst, had been the bridge between theoretical design and practical application. Her extensive studies of recovered alien technology provided crucial insights. She understood that technological advancement wasn't about raw power, but about adaptive intelligence. "We're not trying to build the biggest weapon," she would tell her colleagues. "We're trying to build the smartest one." The final design came together like a complex symphony. Each system was not just integrated but interconnected. The adaptive nanomaterial hull could communicate with the quantum navigation systems. The neural interface could predict potential system failures before they occurred. The energy redistribution network could transform weapon impacts into additional power sources. On the day of the final test, the entire team gathered in the control room. 12 years of work compressed into a single moment of potential. The holographic displays flickered to life, showing every microscopic detail of the ship's systems. Dr. Marcus Chen placed his hand on the primary activation console. This was more than a technological milestone. This was humanity's declaration to the universe. "Defiance," he whispered, It's time to show them what we can do. The first weapon discharge came without warning. A massive plasma burst that would have vaporized any conventional spacecraft instantly. Its brilliant turquoise energy erupted from the Lid Centauri battlecruiser, a superheated lance designed to punch through the strongest known defensive systems. On the Defiance's bridge, Tactical Officer Samuel Chen watched the incoming projectile with an unsettling calm. "Incoming primary energy weapon," he announced, his voice devoid of urgency. "Plasma concentration at 12.6 terawatts. Captain Alina Rodriguez didn't move. Her neural interface was already communicating with the ship's adaptive systems, a conversation happening faster than human speech could articulate. The plasma bolt struck the Defiance's exterior and simply vanished. Not deflected, not absorbed, vanished. Confusion rippled through the Centauri communication networks. Advanced sensor arrays showed no energy dissipation, no heat signature, no impact. It was as if the most powerful weapon in their arsenal had been erased from existence the moment it touched the human vessel's hull. "Molecular reconfiguration complete," Samuel reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Adaptive layer functioning at 99.8% efficiency." The ship's exterior was a marvel of quantum engineering. Developed from Dr. Alina Rodriguez's groundbreaking research, the nanomaterial hull was less a solid surface and more a living, thinking membrane. Each molecular layer could instantaneously analyze incoming energy, understand its composition, and transform its own structure to neutralize the threat. Another volley came, this time a synchronized attack from 3 separate Centauri ships. Coherent energy beams designed to slice through starship hulls like hot knives through butter. The Defiance's surface began to shimmer, its color changing from a deep gunmetal gray to a translucent, almost liquid-like appearance. The energy beams passed through the ship without causing any damage, their destructive potential simply redirected and dispersed into the quantum vacuum surrounding the vessel. "They're trying to understand what just happened," Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez noted, monitoring the alien communication channels. Her translator picked up fragments of increasingly frustrated exchanges. "Impossible," one Centauri commander broadcast. "Quantum probability suggests a 0.00003% chance of complete energy neutralization." Captain Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. Probability was a fascinating concept, especially when human innovation defied conventional mathematical models. The Defiance's defensive demonstration was more than a tactical maneuver. It was a message. Humanity had developed a technology so advanced that it challenged the fundamental understanding of energy interaction and material science. Samuel's console lit up with a complex series of predictive algorithms. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple weapon preparation sequences. The Centauri are recalibrating their attack patterns." It was a beautiful dance of technological escalation. The alien fleet, confronted with a completely unexpected defensive mechanism, began to adapt. They shifted energy frequencies, modified weapon harmonics, attempted to find some weakness in the human ship's incredible defensive system. Each attempt failed. The nanomaterial hull was more than a passive defense. It was an active thinking system that could predict and counter potential threats before they fully materialized. Where traditional shields blocked or absorbed energy, the Defiance's hull could literally reshape its molecular structure to make incoming weapons irrelevant. "They're beginning to panic," Maria reported, her voice a mixture of professional detachment and genuine fascination. The alien communication channels were becoming increasingly chaotic, filled with rapid-fire exchanges and mounting frustration. Captain Rodriguez studied the holographic display. 17 sophisticated warships, each capable of destroying entire planetary colonies, now circled her single vessel like confused predators. They had arrived expecting an easy conquest, a demonstration of their technological superiority. Instead, they were receiving a lesson in humility. "Continue passive defense," she instructed Samuel. "Let them understand exactly what they're dealing with." The Defiance hung in space, silent, seemingly defenseless, yet utterly untouchable, a technological marvel that rewrote the understanding of space warfare with each passing moment. This was humanity's first true statement to the galaxy, and they were just getting started. The moment of transition was almost imperceptible. 1 second, the Defiance remained in a purely defensive posture. The next, it became a weapon of unprecedented complexity. Quantum-entangled projectiles materialized around the ship, not traditional missiles, but something far more advanced. Each projectile was a marvel of computational engineering, capable of existing in multiple quantum states simultaneously. They didn't simply move through space. They predicted and manipulated the very fabric of space-time around them. Weapon systems engaging, Samuel Chen announced, his voice calm despite the magnitude of what was about to unfold. Predictive targeting at maximum efficiency. The first wave of projectiles struck with surgical precision. Each Zentari ship found its most critical systems simultaneously compromised. Shield generators flickered and died. Communication networks collapsed. Propulsion systems became nothing more than inert masses of complex machinery. It wasn't destruction. It was deconstruction. The Defiance's weapon systems were a living network of computational intelligence. Developed by a team of interdisciplinary researchers, these were not simple point-and-shoot weapons. Each projectile contained a miniature quantum computer that could analyze, adapt, and neutralize technological systems in real time. Dr. Camara Williams' xenotechnology research had been crucial to this development. She understood that warfare was no longer about raw destructive power, but about intelligent system manipulation. The human team had studied thousands of alien technological encounters, creating a database of potential weaknesses that could be exploited with precision. On the bridge, Captain Elena Rodriguez watched the holographic displays with a clinical detachment. Each weapon strike was a carefully choreographed movement, a complex algorithm made visible. The Zentari fleet wasn't being destroyed. It was being systematically dismantled. Electronic warfare systems at maximum penetration, Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez reported. Her fingers danced across communication intercept panels, revealing the growing panic among the alien fleet. One Zentari commander's transmission broke through, a mixture of rage and incomprehension. How is this possible? Our systems are impenetrable. The truth was both simple and profound. Humanity had developed a weapon system that thought faster than its targets could react. Traditional warfare relied on physical destruction. The Defiance's systems were predicting and neutralizing threats before they could even be conceived. Quantum-entangled projectiles continued their dance. They moved through the alien fleet like intelligent ghosts, finding the most vulnerable points in each ship's technological ecosystem. Propulsion systems became useless. Weapon arrays transformed into inert masses of metal and circuitry. Samuel Chen's predictive algorithms were working at speeds that defied conventional understanding. The ship's computational systems were analyzing millions of potential engagement scenarios each second, choosing the most efficient path of neutralization. Weapon efficiency at 99.7%, he reported. Minimal energy expenditure, maximum systemic disruption. It was more than a battle. It was a technological performance, each strike a note in a complex symphony of computational warfare. The Zentari had built their fleet on the assumption of technological superiority. They had conquered countless civilizations, their weapon systems considered the pinnacle of galactic military engineering. They had never encountered a system that could think faster than their most advanced computers. Until now. Dr. Marcus Chen's original design philosophy came to life in this moment. The Defiance wasn't just a weapon. It was a statement of human potential, a demonstration that innovation could transform the fundamental understanding of technological conflict. Communication networks compromised, Maria reported. The Zentari fleet is losing cohesion. It wasn't a battle in the traditional sense. The Defiance wasn't destroying ships. It was systematically removing their ability to function as a coordinated fighting force. Weapon systems became paperweights. Propulsion became meaningless. Communication became impossible. Captain Rodriguez watched the holographic display. 17 advanced warships, reduced to floating monuments of technological impotence. Maintain defensive posture, she instructed. Let them understand the full extent of their miscalculation. The Defiance hung in space, a silent, almost elegant harbinger of a new era of warfare. Not a weapon of destruction, but a weapon of absolute technological supremacy. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had brought an entirely new definition of power. Panic spreads differently among advanced civilizations. For the Zentari, it began as a subtle tremor of uncertainty, a microscopic crack in their collective technological confidence. The lead battlecruiser, Sovereign Spear, had been the pride of the Zentari hegemony's fleet. Its command deck was a marvel of biomechanical engineering, neural interfaces connecting each crew member in a perfect hive-minded network. Commander Zerakel had led conquest missions across 17 star systems, reducing civilizations to footnotes in the Zentari's expansive historical records. Now her perfect network was falling apart. Systems are unresponsive, her secondary tactical officer reported, his neural link flickering with increasing instability. Holographic displays that moments ago showed precise tactical information now displayed nothing but fragmented data streams and error signals. The human ship, this singular vessel that should have been nothing more than a minor obstacle, had systematically dismantled their most advanced technological safeguards. Each system failure cascaded through their fleet like a digital plague, breaking down their supposedly impenetrable communication networks. Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez on the Defiance's bridge monitored the alien communications with clinical precision. Their collective neural network is fragmenting, she reported to Captain Rodriguez. We're witnessing a complete systemic collapse. This was psychological warfare at its most sophisticated. The Defiance wasn't just defeating the Zentari fleet, it was demonstrating the fundamental vulnerability of their technological approach. Every advanced civilization develops blind spots, and humanity had found the most critical weakness in the Zentari's design. Commander Zerakel's secondary neural pathways began to activate, emergency protocols designed for scenarios of complete system failure. But even these backup systems found themselves compromised. The human ship's computational systems moved faster than thought, predicting and neutralizing potential recovery strategies before they could fully form. We are being systematically unmade, one Zentari communication channel broadcast, a moment of raw, unfiltered vulnerability that would have been unimaginable moments before. The quantum adaptive systems of the Defiance worked with a precision that bordered on the miraculous. Each technological defense the Zentari attempted was already anticipated, already countered. Their most advanced encryption became transparent. Their most secure communication channels transformed into open broadcast networks. Samuel Chen watched the holographic displays with a mathematician's appreciation for elegant solutions. Probability matrix is collapsing, he murmured. They cannot conceive of a technological approach this comprehensive. On the Sovereign Spear, Commander Zerakel experienced something unprecedented in her centuries of military service, complete technological helplessness. The neural interfaces that had always connected her to her crew now felt like cold, dead circuits. Information flow, the lifeblood of Zentari military strategy, had been completely disrupted. "This is impossible," she transmitted, her voice carrying a hint of something the Zentari rarely experienced: fear. The human ship didn't just defeat their technology. It exposed the fundamental fragility of their entire military philosophy. The Zentari had built their civilization on the assumption of technological superiority, a belief so deeply ingrained that the mere concept of vulnerability had become alien to them. Captain Elena Rodriguez understood the psychological warfare happening beyond the physical engagement. This wasn't about destroying ships. This was about destroying a civilization's belief in its own invincibility. Maintain passive observation, she instructed her crew. Let them understand the full extent of their miscalculation. Each failed system on the Zentari ships told a story. Shield generators that once protected entire planetary colonies now flickered uselessly. Weapon arrays that had reduced countless civilizations to cosmic dust became nothing more than expensive sculptures of metal and crystal. The collective neural network of the Centauri fleet began to fragment, not with the violent disruption of physical destruction, but with the slow, terrifying realization of complete technological obsolescence. Lieutenant Gonzalez's communication analysis revealed the deepening psychological breakdown. "Their communication patterns are shifting," she reported. "We're witnessing the collapse of their collective strategic consciousness." Humanity had done more than win a battle. They had fundamentally challenged an entire civilization's understanding of technological warfare. The Defiance hung in space, silent, almost contemplative, a single vessel that had become the harbinger of a new galactic reality. The Centauri fleet was no longer a unified fighting force. They were a collection of isolated, terrified technological remnants, each ship a monument to human innovation. Desperation transforms calculations in ways no algorithm can perfectly predict. Commander Zarakel's remaining fleet, now reduced to 7 operational vessels, began to configure into a formation that defied conventional spatial tactics. It was a last-ditch geometric configuration developed over millennia of conquests, a strategy that had brought countless civilizations to their knees. The ships aligned in a complex polyhedron, each vessel precisely positioned to create a unified energy matrix. Their collective weapon systems began charging, drawing power from multiple sources, creating a convergence point of destruction that should have been capable of obliterating entire planetary systems. "Incoming coordinated attack," Samuel Chen announced, his voice clinical and detached. Energy concentration approaching critical levels. Captain Alina Rodriguez remained absolutely still. Her neural interface was already communicating with the Defiance's adaptive systems, processing millions of potential scenarios faster than human consciousness could comprehend. The Centauri formation was a mathematical marvel. Each ship's position was calculated to maximize collective firepower, creating a unified weapon more powerful than any individual vessel could produce. Their technology represented centuries of refined military strategy, a living weapon that could adjust its attack parameters millisecond by millisecond. What they didn't realize was that the Defiance had already analyzed their strategy before they had fully committed to it. Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez monitored the communication channels. The Centauri were broadcasting their confidence, their belief that this final formation would turn the tide of battle. Their communications were filled with ancient war chants, historical references to previous victories, a cultural performance of martial supremacy. "Their entire strategic approach is a performance," Rodriguez muttered, more to herself than to her crew. "They're fighting a battle they've already lost in their minds." The convergence point of the Centauri weapon system began to form, a brilliant nexus of energy that would have vaporized any known defensive system. Quantum equations came to life, energy signatures aligned, weapon harmonics synchronized to create a single, devastating strike. Samuel's console lit up with a complex series of predictive algorithms. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple quantum entanglement points. They're attempting to create a multi-dimensional attack vector." It was beautiful in its complexity. The Centauri had developed a weapon system that could theoretically attack across multiple quantum states simultaneously. Traditional defensive systems would be overwhelmed, unable to process the multiple potential attack trajectories. But the Defiance was not a traditional defensive system. As the Centauri fleet completed its attack formation, the human ship systems were already 3 steps ahead. The quantum adaptive hull began to reconfigure at the molecular level, creating a defensive matrix that could not just absorb or deflect energy, but could fundamentally alter its quantum state. The massive energy discharge erupted from the Centauri fleet, a weapon that should have been able to destroy entire planetary infrastructures. It struck the Defiance's hull and vanished. Not absorbed, not reflected, simply erased from existence. "Quantum state redirection complete," Samuel reported. "Zero energy transfer." The Centauri fleet's final, desperate attack had been transformed into nothing more than a complex mathematical equation, solved and dismissed in less time than it took to draw a breath. Commander Zorakil's communication channel went silent. The mathematical perfection of their attack, developed over millennia of conquest, had been rendered completely irrelevant by a single human vessel. Captain Rodriguez watched the holographic display. The Centauri fleet, once the most feared military force in their sector of the galaxy, was now reduced to a collection of confused, isolated vessels. Maintain defensive posture, she instructed her crew. Let them understand the full extent of their miscalculation. The Defiance hung in space, silent, almost contemplative. A single vessel that had become the physical embodiment of human innovation. Humanity had just rewritten the fundamental understanding of technological warfare. Silence descended like a heavy curtain across the battlefield. The Defiance remained motionless, surrounded by the shattered remnants of the Centauri fleet. What had once been 17 of the most advanced warships in the known galaxy were now nothing more than floating debris. Technological corpses that told a story of complete and absolute defeat. Captain Elena Rodriguez studied the holographic displays, her neural interface still connected to the ship's systems. Every sensor, every computational matrix was carefully cataloging the engagement. This was more than a battle. This was humanity's first true statement to the galactic community. Damage assessment, she called out, her voice calm and measured. Samuel Chen's fingers danced across his console. 0 structural integrity loss, he reported. Adaptive systems functioned at 99.98% efficiency. Minimal energy expenditure. The ship's computer began transmitting a comprehensive data package, not a declaration of war, but a clinical, almost academic report of the engagement. It was a message that would travel faster than light, broadcast across multiple communication spectrums to ensure it reached every potential observer. Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez monitored the communication channels. The Centauri communication networks had collapsed entirely. What remained were fragmented, desperate transmissions, snippets of confusion, terror, and incomprehension. Their entire strategic network is in complete disarray, she reported. No coherent communication possible. Dr. Marcus Chen's design philosophy had been proven in the most spectacular way possible. The Defiance was not just a weapon. It was a comprehensive demonstration of human technological potential. The adaptive hull continued to shift and reconfigure, its molecular structure still processing the remnants of the battle. Quantum-level sensors analyzed every fragment of the destroyed Centauri ships, collecting data that would take researchers decades to fully comprehend. Commander Zorakil's flagship, once the pride of the Centauri hegemony, had been reduced to a series of disconnected components. Its advanced neural network, which had connected the crew in a perfect hive mind, now existed only as scattered electronic whispers. Transmitting initial battle report, Samuel announced. The report was a masterpiece of technical precision. It documented every aspect of the engagement, from the initial approach to the final neutralization of the Centauri fleet. No boasting. No emotional language. Just pure, clinical data that spoke volumes about human technological capabilities. Captain Rodriguez understood the significance of this moment. This was more than a military engagement. This was first contact redefined. The ship's communication systems began broadcasting on multiple frequencies, not just to the Centauri homeworlds, but to every known and unknown civilization that might be listening. The message was simple, yet profound. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Quantum data package transmission complete, Maria reported. Outside, the battlefield remained frozen in time. Fragments of Centauri ships drifted silently, catching the light of distant stars. The Defiance stood as a silent monument, a single vessel that had just changed the galactic understanding of technological warfare. Samuel's console displayed a series of predictive models. Calculating potential galactic response, he muttered. The computational systems were already several steps ahead, analyzing potential diplomatic, military, and technological repercussions of this engagement. Dr. Camara Williams' xenotechnology research had prepared them for this moment. Every potential scenario had been analyzed, every potential response mapped out with mathematical precision. Maintain current position. Captain Rodriguez instructed. Let the message speak for itself. The Defiance's adaptive hull continued to shimmer, a living testament to human innovation. Each molecular reconstruction was a reminder that this was not just a ship, but a comprehensive technological ecosystem. As the last fragments of the Centauri fleet drifted into the void, a new chapter in galactic history was being written. Humanity had just demonstrated that technological innovation could be the most powerful weapon of all. Silence remained the most powerful communication of all. The transmission traveled faster than light, a digital herald of humanity's technological breakthrough. In the gleaming corridors of Earth's Interstellar Strategy Command, Admiral Helena Gonzalez watched the incoming data with a mixture of pride and calculated anticipation. The Defiance's battle report was more than a military record. It was a comprehensive blueprint of human potential. Holographic displays flickered to life across multiple conference rooms, research facilities, and government installations. Scientists, military strategists, and political leaders from every human colony gathered to witness the most significant moment in humanity's extraterrestrial history. Dr. Marcus Chen, the primary architect of the Defiance's technological systems, stood before a massive display of the battle analysis. His fingers traced the intricate computational pathways that had neutralized an entire advanced alien fleet. This is not about victory, he explained to the assembled experts. This is about demonstrating our capacity for innovation. The galactic communication networks erupted with activity. Dozens of spacefaring civilizations began analyzing the transmission, attempting to comprehend the technological marvel that they had just witnessed. The Defiance's battle report was a Rosetta Stone of advanced technological warfare, a document that would be studied for generations. Captain Elena Rodriguez remained on the bridge, her neural interface still connected to the ship's systems. She understood this was more than a military engagement. This was humanity's first true introduction to the broader galactic community. Predictive models began to cascade across computational systems. The potential diplomatic, technological, and strategic implications were nearly infinite. Some alien civilizations would see this as a threat. Others would view it as an opportunity for collaboration. Incoming communication requests. Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez reported. Multiple alien civilizations attempting to establish contact. The Centauri transmission networks, once a symbol of technological supremacy, now lay in complete disarray. Their entire military philosophy had been dismantled by a single human vessel. Intelligence reports suggested complete political instability within the Centauri hegemony, with multiple political factions beginning to fracture. Dr. Camara Williams, the lead xenotechnology researcher, began compiling a comprehensive analysis. They didn't just lose a battle, she noted. They lost their fundamental understanding of technological superiority. Computational models predicted multiple potential scenarios. Some suggested immediate diplomatic outreach from other alien civilizations. Others indicated potential defensive preparations, as various spacefaring races attempted to understand the technological breakthrough demonstrated by the Defiance. Samuel Chen's predictive algorithms worked overtime, mapping out potential galactic responses. Each scenario was a complex mathematical equation. Potential diplomatic approaches, technological adaptations, strategic recalculations. We've changed everything. Admiral Gonzalez muttered, more to herself than to anyone else. The Defiance continued its silent vigil, surrounded by the remnants of the Centauri fleet. Its adaptive hull continued to collect and process data, each molecular reconstruction a testament to human innovative potential. Multiple research teams began studying the battle data. The quantum adaptive systems, the predictive computational matrices, the neural interface technologies. Each element was a potential revolution in multiple scientific disciplines. This is more than a military achievement, Dr. Marcus Chen explained during a global transmission. This is a demonstration of human potential. We're not just developing technology. We're creating living, adaptive systems that can think beyond traditional computational boundaries. Intelligence reports began streaming in from human colonies across known space. The initial reaction was a mixture of pride, excitement, and a profound sense of potential. Humanity was no longer just another emerging civilization. They were a technological force to be reckoned with. Captain Rodriguez received a personal communication from Earth's Interstellar Command. Her mission had been more than a military engagement. It was a diplomatic statement, a technological demonstration, and a promise of humanity's future. The Defiance's communication systems continued to broadcast. Not a declaration of war, not a threat. Simply a calm, precise demonstration of technological capability. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to recalculate their understanding of humanity. The silence was deafening. Humanity had arrived.